Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Call Halal, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, Bahara Kakadash, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, Bashem Kakadash Banatham, couple honest apostles who are elders who do well. Blessings and salutations to you, brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. I want to do this lesson real quick, going over pretty much play your role. That's going to be the name of the game. Play your role. Okay, so we're going to start off with this 1 Corinthians. Okay, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 26. It says, "How is it then, brethren, when ye come together, every one of you hath a psalm, half a doctrine, half a tongue, half a revelation, half an interpretation, let all things be done unto edifying." Okay, now key point, it says, "How is it then, brethren, when ye come together, every one of you hath a psalm, have a doctrine, have a tongue, have a revelation, and have an interpretation." So everybody has something to bring to the table. All right. So if you get the notion or the feeling that you have nothing because there's more important people, more prominent people, I would say no one's more important than the other. There's order, but no one's more important than the other because the Lord called us all. He's called us all to this, and the Lord is not remiss or like, oh shit, I put the wrong nigga in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Many are called, but few are chosen. That means you'll have a chance. You have a job to do when you're here, just like Judas did for those who aren't chosen. But for those who are called, when you're called, you're called to do something. You're called for a purpose, not just to be a bump on the log. Okay? So continuing on, it says, those who are called to have or come together, everyone have a psalm, have a doctrine. So like I'll just read it from the beginning. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 26, it says, "How is it then, brethren, when ye come together, every one of you have a psalm, have a doctrine, have a tongue, hath a revelation, hath an interpretation. Let all things be done unto edifying." Okay, now once you go into that word edifying, or it was this oikodame. I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but it's a Strong's G3619. It says in a blue letter, it says the online biblical usage, right? The act of building up, metaphor, edifying, edification. The act of one who promotes another's growth in Christian wisdom, piety, happiness, holiness. A building, a thing built. So what is it saying? It goes back to the scripture. It says, "How is it then, brethren, when you come together, everyone have a psalm." Pretty much psalms are songs, but songs are more testimonies, words of encouragement, things of that thing. Doctrine, breakdowns, a tongue, pretty much, speaking in different languages, which is this particular scripture is going over. Not just the gibberish that people speak, but for the brothers in the truth, we already know that. Okay? Have a revelation, pretty much breakthroughs, new understandings, things like that, things that you learn, okay? Have an interpretation, okay, if you're trying to handle something, this is the way I see it. And then sometimes as brethren, we're not all right, even though we think we are right. You may see it a different way. You may know something that somebody else doesn't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what brother you are, whatever rank you are in, you do have a voice. But as the scriptures say, "Speak, young man, if there be need of thee." Okay? If there be need of thee. Okay? So if you feel that there's a need for you to speak, because young men should be doing more listening and getting educated more than speaking. Okay? But if you say, you're experienced in a profession and an older brother is not. I'll give an example, just a quick one. I worked with a brother that I was ranked over, but he was in a job, he was a supervisor. So when in that position, he was like, pretty much like, "Hey man, I know who you are. I'm not going to be doing this. And I said, nah, man, you're the supervisor here. You got to do your job as a supervisor. I'm here you my brother. So in that way, I'm going to make sure you look good as a supervisor as me working underneath you, because in that position, you're over me. So you have to magnify your office, you know what I'm saying, in that position. So, that's the understanding of it, of exhorting one another, lifting one another up, because me doing that will make him look better in his job, okay? And that's what you should want out of a brother, is to lift them up, pick them up, build them up. And it doesn't have to be with handshakes, love, and happiness, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to, rebuke someone, because it says, let all things be done unto edifying. So if you have a problem with someone admonishing you, and you take it like, it's always got to be shalom, it's all love, brother, then, you're not fit for this truth, because guess what? There's going to be times harder than Satan got it out for you, for real, you know what I'm saying? So if you can't take a brother admonishing you, exhorting you, doing the hard things and saying the hard things to you, then Satan he's coming with the real intent. Would you think that you take offense at that brother say, and like the scripture say, are you offended because I tell you the truth? If you get offended at that, Satan gonna lie on you, and he don't care. He's the one he's the person that's really doing it. So if you can't handle the truth, how much more is it when Satan slanders and come at you for no reason, right? So we have to make sure that we are spiritually in a position to be able to have that thick skin, to have that goal-orientated mind to accomplish the goal, okay? So, Salakia, so next thing I want to, talk about, we're going to go into the whole situation, so we're going to go into Hebrews chapter 3 and 13. It says, but exhort one another daily, what is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. So to exhort means to call, to pull to the side, to pretty much to address, okay? That's our job also as brethren. It says honor the brotherhood. How do you honor that? It's not just talking about, oh, I love you, brothers, and if you really, to love the Lord is to keep the commandments. You know what I'm saying? Everything in the commandment ain't, oh, I'm about to eat this lamb in the name of the Lord. I'm about to celebrate this high holy day in the name of the Lord. Sometimes you got to go through a lot of times, you got to go through the mud. You know what I'm saying? Because scripture says, rebuke and exhort with all long suffering. All right? What is, what are we doing? We have a job, and sometimes you got to get your hands dirty. Or if you're confused about who you are, it's very important. I'm talking about as young men. As a young man, if you're confused as to who you are, you need to sit down, meditate, pray, and really accept your position and really dive in and appreciate where you are and magnify your office as where you are. Know who you are. You got to have confidence into who you are. You got to know what you know, all right? Because at any moment that you have any doubt of what you know, that's all it takes. As a fighter, I know if I can make somebody doubt who they are, I'm taking away a weapon from them. You know what I'm saying? If you got power and you hit me and I look at you and I shake my head and say you don't have it, and you hit me with everything you got, even though it hurt, it may rock me. If I show a poker face and show you that it didn't hurt, it'll discourage you from throwing them shots like that. And that's just for an example, from experience, So you have to realize who you are, what your potential is. You have to abound. You got to be fervent in your mind, because Satan is always going to cast doubt onto you. And once he casts the doubt, and once you're weak, that doubt is going to work. Okay? So you have to abound. You have to have a zeal. You have to put forth all your strength in serving the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And even yet will he far exceed. Don't do anything half-assed. Don't wait. Don't think that you got many opportunities. You got to take advantage of every moment, because there's going to be moments that you're going to miss. There's going to be times that you're going to fuck up. So when you have in your mind that, oh, I'll get it next time. What if there isn't a next time, right? We fuck up enough. So everything that we're doing within this flock should be done unto exhortation, to lift up the camp, to lift up the elders, to lift up the ministry, and ultimately to lift up Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So what are you doing on a daily basis to encourage that? All right? I'm not saying every single moment, every single time in your life that you ought to do that, but the Lord will provide you opportunity. All right? Don't bullshit yourself and try to make an excuse. This is the reason I can't do it. And look, the Lord won't provide a way for everybody to be great. It's just that you either got to choose the Lord or choose yourself. And that's what happens most of the time, which is why the scriptures say the spirit warreth against the flesh. What you think that war is? What you think that war is? You get up in the morning, there's pork in front of you, and like, you want to Satan, woman, you want to eat this pork, and you like, I'm so hungry, oh no, I don't know what to do. Hey, man, come on now. We're talking about your tendencies, not saying nobody in particular, but your tendencies. You got a problem with women. Then a woman comes into your face. Or you may have a thought about women, and now you're looking at ass all the time, not knowing that these women are in these times are very detrimental to our focus and concentration on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And you're just not, as the scriptures say, do not go in the way that thou shouldest fall. You're just putting yourself in environments, you're looking at them, you're accepting, oh, she fine. No, you need to turn around like, this bitch gonna take me off my course, man. Sure, she's fine, but if I deal with her, then this, that, and third is gonna come with it. And then if you can't control yourself, you pray to the Most High, man. You know yourself, you know your problems, you know your insecurities, your weaknesses, and you know your strengths. So let's stop bullshitting ourselves and being satisfied with our incompetences, and exhort ourselves and exhort one another. Because sometimes in this lesson, going into doing your job, addressing, mainly younger brothers and all of ourselves also, but mainly younger brothers, and your role to play. Be confident in who you are and push lift up the doctrine, man. It's play your role. Put yourself, plug and play yourself. Do something. If you only got 3 minutes in the game as a player, and your job is to get at least 4 points, try to get the 4 points with the chance you got. Oh, they ain't gonna pass me the ball, and then the ball kicked out to you. You ain't even think about it, so now you confused or nervous, and then you shoot it and you miss, and then now you're mad, you're swinging your fist, and you can't get back down the court. You can't be that type of guy. You got me in the game, you put me in this game, 3 minutes, I'm gonna make the best out of this 3 minutes for the team. Because we gotta win, okay? So play your role, right? So now, when we talk about playing your role and exhorting one another as young men from every rank, we all are young men to somebody. The elders are young men to Yahweh Shai, okay? We all have our rank and order, you know what I'm saying? So we have our roles to play. The elders are through the Spirit of the Most High, are renowned with information and detail, but without us, this truth wouldn't spread as broad as it is. Of course, it's through their leadership and through the Spirit of the Most High that we are working like this, because that's how order works. But at the end of the day, don't get it twisted. It ain't about us. We ain't like, they don't put us on a pedestal to be an apostle or something like that. No, you know your role and you play your role. All right, we're younger men, we're captains, we're bishops, things like that, sergeants or whatever. But everybody, as the scripture says, with the body, the arm can't say to the foot, I have, pretty much I don't have no need of you. Everybody have the role, no matter how insignificant you may feel it is. That's the problem with that person in that position. If you feel your role is insignificant and that you have nothing to offer, Satan has won now. He's broke your confidence. He's broke your will, okay? So you have to, as your role as a young man, all of us, as being a young man myself, we have to play our role and exhort one another daily, exhort this gospel daily, exhort the camp, exhort GMS, exhort the doctrine, exhort Yahweh Shem Yahushua. What can you do to exhort? What do you know? The Lord gave you something. You're here for something. So I want to give an example, 2 examples of men of exhorting, okay? Exhorting for the purpose of the greater good, for lack of better words. So we're going to go into Exodus chapter 17, verse 10 through 14. It says, so Joshua did as Moses said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy. Okay? As a leader, he got weak. Now, we as leaders, me being in a leadership position, look, everybody ain't perfect, man. Everybody has a down day. Everybody has a down time, because nobody is nobody's here without sin. Nobody's here without fault. To this day, we make bad decisions, but it's not an exhortation to belittle or to look down. Let everything be done unto edifying. You know what I'm saying? What can you do to? Matter of fact, let me read it. Salakia, it says, Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it underneath him. Yeah, they exhorted him. For what? So Israel can prevail, right? Or they used edifying. They lifted him up, literally. They lift his hand up, okay? They use edification. And it says, and he sat thereon. Now, edifying, Salakia, I want to backtrack a little bit. Edifying is pretty talking about doctrine and educating, But you can physically edify somebody too. You can lift them up. And it's not through, you can do it, you got this. It's not only that. It's admonishment. It's whatever it takes to get the job done, okay? Like it says, there's a shame that worketh to sin, and there's a shame that worketh to righteousness, right? And like Paul said, like, I'm not doing this to hurt your feelings. I'm doing this to get you right. So ultimately, that's what? That's edification. Okay? That's lifting you up. Now, if you have a soft heart and you taking everything personal, like, everybody hates me, I don't know what to do. And look, again, when Satan get on your ass, he don't give a fuck. I don't know what to do. Shut your bitch ass up. That's what Satan gonna say. Or he might play the role like, oh, well, you should do this. Maybe you should quit. Maybe you should kill yourself. Satan put all kind of shit in your mind. But if you focus on the task at hand, the Lord clearly telling you what to do. The Lord's clearly telling, like, you got a job to do. You got to get on this chariot, man. You got to overcome this and this and this and that. It's easy to talk about the end. Lord willing, we get out of here. Lord willing, he give us the strength to go through and remain stiff for him all, because we're going to get out of here regardless. All we got to do is endure and keep our integrity. You know what I'm saying? He that endureth to the end shall be saved. So yeah, Lord willing, we get up out of here. But if you're going to pray for anything, pray for the strength to make it to the end. That's all you got to do, is have perfect attendance. You know what I'm saying? Now, not to have perfect attendance, I mean, just sit on your ass, man. All right? You got a job to do, and it's not like the Lord is not going to name whoever trusted in the Lord and was confounded. Let's put it like that, as it says in Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, I believe. Name whoever trusted in the Lord who was confounded. Is nobody. All right? So if the Lord assigned you to do a task, and the task is very difficult, you're going to succeed. You're going to succeed because he assigned you to it. He's not going to confound you. He's not going to have you do something and fail. And if you do fail, it's for a reason, for you to learn something. Not to get all emotional and feel like, oh, I can't get it done. Or maybe it's not for, that's Satan in your thoughts. Focus on the task at hand, right? And do what you can. So let's get back to the subject at hand. It says, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed upon his hand, the one on the one side, and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people in the edge of, with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Okay, so look, man, we all have our roles to play. Was Aaron over Moses? No, he had his role. Okay, but Aaron, he had a high role. Look at the importance Aaron has. Like, look at what the Levitical priesthood and the respect that Aaron has. But was Aaron Moses? No. But if Aaron would have felt some type of way, like, oh, Moses getting weak, man, I could do his job. Come on, man. Or if Moses weak, we all weak. We're going to lose and he's run away. No, he did what he had to do. All right? Because guess what? Leaders fall short too. That don't make them evil. That don't make them wicked. Okay? Leaders forget things. Leaders get absent-minded. Leaders get frustrated. But when that happens, that's not our job to belittle. We have to exhort. All we have to do is do our job consistently. All right? That's all we have to do. Okay? 2 Samuel 19:4. It says, but the king, this is another example I wanted to bring out, and we're going to end it with one more precept. It says, but the king covered his face, and the king cried, and the king is David, okay? Cried with a loud voice, O my son, Absalom, Absalom, my son, my son. And Joab came unto the house to the king and said, thou hast shamed this day the face of all thy servants, which this day have saved thy life and the lives of thy sons and of thy daughters, and the lives of thy wives and the lives of thy concubines, in that thou lovest thine enemies and hatest thy friends. So this is the point where David has become, weak. Now, justifiably so. David didn't turn around and say, man, I'm warning my son. What you mean? Like, what's right and what's wrong to the situation? You know what I'm saying? They ain't saying David's evil, but David was in a vulnerable state. He was in a position to where exhortation and edification through the hard way was needed. Joab did what he was supposed to do. Okay? It says, see here. It says, for thou hast declared this day that thou regardest neither princes nor servants. For this day I perceive that if Absalom had lived, and we all had died this day, then it had pleased thee well. So what he's saying is like, you mourning, I get it, but it says even early in the chapter that the people went into stealth. They pretty much hid themselves because they felt like David was upset that what Israel had did to his son, that he'll retaliate on them. And Abner was get Abner and Joab mixed up, but I believe with Joab that he was like, yo, pretty much, man, you putting a vibe out there. It made me think about Kodak Black. I don't like the vibe. That's pretty much how Joab was, man. Like, and he was very eloquently and directly saying, look, man, your mindset is a cause and effect. Your absence as young men, all of us as young men to our elders, our absence plays an effect. All right? We can't sit here and watch Moses hold the staff up and think, oh, he's Moses, he got it. What can you do? And when you ask yourself that, you know what you can. We all know what we can do. All right? All that weak ass nature, the scripture says, put off now thine thy weak nature, man. Put that shit off, man. It's useless. Not only is useless, it's detrimental. Okay? You're supposed to put that shit off, stand on your feet, and do what you can. You don't gotta be Superman. Just do what you can to your best abilities, man, in all sincerity and in truth. The Lord called you because you can do it. The Lord called us because we can do it. Now, doubt comes. Failure comes. That low point comes, but I'm addressing the situation of living in that low point, accepting that as who you are, and instead of saying, okay, I failed, let me get my ass back up. And then when you see somebody else fall, you help them get back up. And then you got to be willing to take it there any way it go, whether it's getting in somebody's stuff or exhorting, and not exhorting, but lifting them up in a positive way, encouraging them, not being jealous. And somebody's being successful, you say, hey man, I'm proud of you, putting that good energy out. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a time where when you should be good and you choose evil. There's a time that you should be hard on somebody and you choose to be passive. That shit ain't right, man. Because at the end of the day, we got to get up out of here. And it reminds me of, I've had people pass away that were, even though they were of the world, there were people that I knew when I was in the world that all the way up to this time that I had a relationship with, had care for, and they passed away. And the only thing I could think of is the things I could have done. And then for the people that was around me that passed away, and I knew I could do something, that bothers you. That bothered me to a point. You know what I'm saying? And that let me know who I was. I could have pulled somebody to the side, I could have, like the scriptures say, if you see somebody sin and you don't say anything, then that sin is on you. You know what I'm saying? Now, everybody have to work out their own salvation, but if you're sitting here watching someone next to you struggle and fall and you got the answers, but you too pussy to say anything, or you don't want to get your hands dirty, or you can't figure it out, the blood is going to be on your hands the same type of way. Because you could have did something. The Lord gave you, he put you there to say that for that moment. The master chess player himself. Okay? So let's continue. I don't want to make too much out of it. It says, going on in verse 7 says, now therefore arise, go forth and speak comfortably unto thy servants. For I swear by the Lord, if thou go not forth, they will not tarry with thee this night, and that will be worse unto thee than all the evil that befall thee from thy youth until now. So he's saying the shit that you went through with Absalom, when you lose these people, it's going to be worse, though. The Lord set you up to guide the people. So, like, you know what I'm saying? He exhorted and he edified David according to the will. He didn't take it personal. He didn't look down on David. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, bro, this is what it is. Okay? And this is what your actions can cause, or your lack of actions thereof. All right? And we need to take that into account. Okay? Last verse, Genesis chapter 4:9. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, you are. We all are our brother's keeper. And you will be responsible if you're negligent. And I ain't talking about you got a brother is tripping and he bugging out and he just can't get it and you did everything you could. Nah, after the first and second admonition, it's like, bro, you got to learn it on your own. You still have patience, because sometimes brothers don't understand or know or experience the things you've experienced, and you just got to have that patience to deal with them, because they're not you. As a boxing coach, I deal with people who have never fought before. So I'm trying to show you how to slip, and then you're struggling. At first, you get frustrated, but then I have to find out ways to talk to them on their level. I could just walk up to somebody that's been boxing for 5 years and say, hey, move your head. You know what I'm saying? Or snap your punches. Snap your punches. And they know what I'm saying. But then somebody that first fought, and they're pushing and slow punching, I have to tell them, look, man, imagine there's $1 million in a fire. Imagine it's your daughter's picture and she passed away and it's in a fire. And you got to get out that fire. Or I create drills to where I stick my hand out and I tell you to touch my forearm, and then I try to grab it. And it encourages you to, that's edification. It builds you up, okay? And if you're lacking, I had a situation, I was fighting, getting ready for a fight, and I got tired. I was running, but my coach said, hey, you need to run. And I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. But nah, man, That wasn't the case. You know, he said, hey, you need to run. I got up and started running, man, because obviously I need to run more. Now, what is he saying? Now, I'm running. In my mind, immediately, the flesh, the spirit war against the flesh is like, I am running. Like, what are you saying? I did it. But the spirit's like, bro, he said it for a reason. You know, and I just ran more. But then when it came down time to fight, I still got tired. I said, damn, if I would have ran more, I'd been more okay. And I understood. You know, everything that hurts you ain't meant to hurt you like that. You know what I'm saying? Correction ain't meant to fucking destroy you, man. That's the ego. That's the flesh. You know, and then outside of that, man, to abound, to put forth your energy and put forth things out there, you might abound and you might get it wrong. But that's trial and error, man. It's like cooking. You know, you're not going to cook everything perfect. You're going to put too much salt in. You're going to put not enough salt. You don't learn how to use sea salt. You might put too much spice. And somebody might say, it's nasty. It's nasty because of this and that. You can't, oh, so you don't like me? You don't like my cooking? No, it's like I'm just telling you what was wrong with it. All right? So it's along those guides. So with that being said, I hope this was edifying to you, Akim. With that being said, I want to say, call Halal Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. Again, call Halal Yahweh Shemi Al Shai for calling us unto this faith and giving us this opportunity. And Aparatazah, we take advantage of the opportunity that we're in. Because we don't want to be the person that the Lord said. Many have said, Lord, Lord. And he said, I never knew thee. That comes to the people that sit on their ass and want to be a bump on the log, and to the people that are assholes with the abundance that they have. You have to know how to show mercy. You have to know how to be forward. You have to know how to do whatever it takes to establish the righteousness of the Lord's will. Right? Hey, Shalom.